So yes, the two other planets I want to talk to you about are Saturn and Neptune. They're here. At the moment, they're both retrograde. Today, once again, is the 21st of September, 2025. So being retrograde, a planet is said to have less influence. But as I've explained about Uranus, because Uranus is also retrograde and it is going to realign, I think it is in November, with the sign Taurus. So it has been in Taurus for about 7 years. Then it makes an incursion in Gemini, the following sign. And it gets a glimpse of what the future holds for ourselves for a few months, just to get a taste of what it is about to produce. But it returns in Taurus. And Saturn and Neptune have been in Aries, and I've talked about that as well in the video that I made for 2025. So watch it if you haven't watched it yet, because you'll get some information that may be valuable. Now, both planets, Saturn, Neptune, and also Uranus, are returning in the preceding sign where they had been transiting for quite a while. Well, for Neptune, for example, it was in Pisces since 2012. Saturn is, of course, a much faster object, so it remains about 2.5 years in a sign. So moving back to another context, which is the old context, can be associated with the idea that before you can really take advantage of the change represented by Uranus, of the regeneration represented by Pluto, and of the realization of something quite immense, you'll need to go back to what it meant to you before it becomes possible to actually happen, because that will allow you to verify and perhaps also to make the last adjustments before the planets change sign, because when they do, they will not return into the preceding sign. So that means that if you haven't learned the lesson that was taught to you, and in various ways, of course, depending on your chart and depending on anyone's life as well. But when Saturn and Neptune return in Aries, and that will occur very early in 2026, for Neptune it will occur on the 28th of January, and for Saturn it will be on the 13th of February. So we need to get ready for that as well, because when it happens, although Uranus will still be in Taurus, but back in direct motion, it will prepare itself for its re-entry in Gemini. So that will confirm this type of configuration, which we call a sextile. And a sextile is a very positive aspect. And there is also one that's going to be formed with Pluto naturally. So this configuration here, this triangle, is the triangle of success. All right? But it will become much more perceived by any one of us from the moment Uranus moves into Gemini, because that's only then that it will be exactly in harmony with Saturn, Neptune, and Pluto. Right now, it's what we call a false aspect, and although it's an interesting aspect, it's not as strong, and it may also delay the results that we are expecting from what we want to change in our life and what we want to realize concretely. Because what you can realize when Saturn and Neptune are back in Aries, well, that's high level, you know. I mean, Neptune represents what we consider as being the ideal situation in whatever area, according to your life, to your pretensions, to your projects and so on, and to your chart, of course. So it's very important as well, if you need more light on what I'm saying according to your own chart and life, then visit our website and you will find the information to order a reading of your choice. And it's most likely Lucas that is going to look after you. He's excellent. He's my spiritual son, I would say. And he will take over Ablas completely when I decide to let go, you know, and to retire. I'm 75 now, and I'd like to get a rest and get some distance from not astrology itself, no, that's for sure, but from the work that it involves. Anyway, that's not the question today. But Saturn and Neptune, when they're in conjunction like that, is a very rare event. In this sign, it has happened this year, yes. But before that, you may have had to go back about at least more than 160 years. So this configuration is unique, and being a nice positive configuration, I mean, if you see it in a chart and you have to analyze the chart of that person or even the solar return chart, you will inevitably forecast or explain that the person has very positive potentials to regenerate, with a very original type of behavior, and likely to become someone who will change the world. And those kids are going to be born from the 25th of April 2026 onward will benefit from this configuration in their chart. So that's going to help them a lot. But it will help us as well. And whatever your chart is, whatever your life is, somewhere in your chart there is something in Aquarius, something in Aries, and something in Gemini. It may not be an object, an element, a planet, but it certainly is a house. And a house in astrology represents various areas of life. So if Uranus transits your third house, for example, it's going to change the way you think and see the world, the way you communicate. Your intellect, your neurons are going to be electrified by the energy of Uranus. And you may completely change the way you deal with the world verbally and intellectually. If it's in house 4, for example, you can expect a drastic and perhaps definite change, a positive one, in your family area, your place of residence or something like that. But all the planets are going to be oriented and aligned with a certain house in your chart. So that's something that needs to be assessed, of course, because then you know where exactly this configuration is going to act, and you can get ready to make the best out of it. That's the whole idea. I mean, astrology for a better life. That's what I mean. When you are aware that something is coming, you are better prepared to deal with that something, whatever it is. And it could be the transit of a planet, it could be anything else, like the visit of someone you adore, or someone you abhor. I mean, it makes a lot of difference, doesn't it? Apart from Uranus, Pluto, Saturn and Neptune, they are going to change our life. They are going to give us the opportunity and the potential to change our life for the better. And even though your life may be quite nice, good, it can always be better. So if it is better, you're not going to complain. But to make it better, Saturn represents what you need to do about it, concretely. Otherwise, you'll feel better. Well, that's wonderful. But it's not going to lead to anything really concrete as such, And Neptune represents your imagination. Uranus represents your potential to adapt to that inspiration or intuition that you may have of the best possible action to take in order to obtain the best results. But there is another planet that will become an asset, an added asset as well, but not yet. We will have to wait until the end of June, but it's worth it. I can assure you that it is worth it. And the planet in question I will talk about in the following short video about it. It is the largest planet, the giant of our solar system, and it's Jupiter. So see you soon to talk about this influence, great influence of this giant. Bye for now.